introduce you to the drummer who's been with me 35 years, W.S. Holland. He was with Carl Perkins when I started in '55, and he played drums on Blue Suede Shoes. He was the original son, rockabilly daddy drummer.
Hi, I'm W.S. Holland. I traveled around the country with Johnny Cash for almost 40 years. Met John Cash in 1955, I think it. Sun Records, we were doing a recording there with Carl Perkins, and worked with him, toured with him and the rest of the Sun group till 1960, and then joined the group in 1960, went to work with him, and it was the beginning of the Tennessee Three. And here we are all this many years later, back in Dice, Arkansas, the hometown of John Cash. And Frank and me is here doing some tribute shows to John Cash, raising some money to have some kind of monument here, and just having a big time. I met Frank in, how long ago, Frank? 6 months?
It's been about 6 months.
About
yes.
6 months. There's some people over at Dyersburg, Tennessee, a little town about 50 miles from Jackson, and they had some friends over there that had some sickness in the family, didn't have any insurance, and they called me to come over to help them raise some money. And Frank came down from up in Kentucky, and we met each other, and I never have seen it.
He was so country, but so real, and that's the way it is here in Dice. It's just an honor for me to come down and do what we do, and we try to do it gracefully. I think we're doing it better now than I've ever done it because I got Holland with me. he keeps me in time. But no, we WS and I have met, and I think it's fair to say we click. I have found him to be a dear friend. I have the utmost respect for him, and I have to say it is a true honor for me to stand out on that stage and have him back there behind me. He's a friend, pretty good drummer, but no, he's a legendary figure. I mean, we all know this, and it's a blessing. And I sincerely mean that, W.S. It was a blessing the day that you and I met.
I think so, and the way we met was kind of a deal. You just can't plan things that way. You know, I was going over to a little town and do that show, and I'd never met Frank. Didn't even have any idea what I was going to do when I got over there. And we didn't have time for any kind of rehearsal or anything. We just went on the stage, and there again, it's so nice not to be able to have to know how to do several different things. See, all we know how to do is what we do. So we don't even have to rehearse. We can just go on stage and do the only thing we know, and it works good. Just like it was with John Cash. I don't think the band actually ever had a rehearsal to do what we did on the stage all those years. Even the recording, we go into a recording session, and we wouldn't know what was going to record till we got to the session. John would say, well, let's do a little song, something like this, and he'd go over to the dressing room maybe, or there in the studio. Or if we was out on tour, he'd think of something he's going to do, and we'd get in the dressing room like this for the show, and he'd say, hey, gang, I'm going to do this, and we just go out and, that's the advantage of not knowing a lot of things to do. So you can see, I'm so lucky. See, Frank knows how to sing Johnny Cash songs. And I reckon that's about all you know, isn't it, Frank?
Yeah, oh yeah. That's I've been singing John Cash since 1964.
Really?
Yeah. Of course, you've heard me tell this story before. Gosh, I've been to so many of the concerts, and you and I had met in the hallway or something. this has to be one of the nicest guys in the world, because I used to go to those shows, and I was lucky enough to get backstage with some of his help. But I have to slap myself every once in a while to make sure I'm not dreaming. But yes, John Cash is all that I've ever sang. It's all that I ever will.
Well, we need to make a deal, see. You don't learn anymore, don't learn how to sing anybody else's material but Johnny Cash's, and I don't have any problem not having to learn anything. I'll just keep playing what I play, and we'll just go around the world and keep it going and do it again one more time.
One more time, and I'll make you a deal. You stuck with John for 40 years, and then you retired.
Yeah.
I'll make you a deal. If you'll stick with me 40, I'll let you retire, and I won't ask you to work for me any longer.
That is a deal. We're gonna do that.
Well, I just hope that things keep rolling along the way they've been going for the past 6. We've been having a ball.
Oh, yeah. Well, I found out 2 or 3 things here lately. Like in '97, when John we did the last show up in town in where was we? We was right out of Detroit, Michigan. But anyway, so he didn't feel like playing anymore, and so the band went every direction. Some of the guys went to Texas, and I went home to Jackson, and I was having a big time just playing. And I learned something that I didn't know all those years. See, when you don't have a job, your tax problem just completely goes away. So it's kind of nice not to have a tax problem. All those years, I was figuring out how I'm going to pay my taxes, and then now, man, it's just no problem.
Well, I hope over the next year you have another tax bill. Well, we're going to feature something tonight. Let's talk about this. We're going to feature something tonight that you and I have talked about doing. During our part of the show, on down in the latter part, we're going to get us a stool. We're going to go out sit down on the edge of the stage and just open it up for question and answers. Anybody that's got any kind of question for WS or myself, if they've got a favorite story that they know intimate detail about an encounter they had with John or whatever, we're going to do that tonight. And I think we're going to add that to our show. I think that'll be interesting, don't you?
I do. It happens. It happens a few times with some more groups, and it works good. So we'll just do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be neat. And of course, here we're in Dice tonight, doing a memorial celebration for the 5th anniversary of John's death, which was yesterday. And this is our 2nd annual event for that. We'll be doing a candlelight ceremony later on tonight, and I think tonight we're going to do just a show more in commemoration for basically the songs that John wrote.
Yeah.
I don't think the world really knows this. John Cash is one of the greatest songwriters that ever picked a pen up. He did it. He was so creative. He could write a song, and boy, you could sit there and listen to it in your mind. It was like a big kaleidoscope that would just open up. And so I think that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to do some of his older recordings and some of his writings. I'm going to do one tonight that I've never done before. Christmases in Unity.
I was just going to say, there's so much material that the average fan never got to hear that Johnny Cash recorded.
Yeah.
All the fans, of course, they all know the big hits, like Folsom and Walk the Line and Boy Named Sue and Ring of Fire and stuff like that. But John, if everybody could listen to everything that he recorded, there were songs like you just said, Christmas as I Knew It,
Mm-hmm.
and Back Home in Dice, Arkansas. Yeah. Was that a line in that, or was that another song?
No, that's a line.
Line in that song.
That's
it was
a
about
line.
the family here, and there's so many songs that John did that would make a movie.
Absolutely.
Many songs.
It's just like that song that we're speaking of. Daddy put on his gum boots and waited for the fall.
Yeah.
And
Back home in Dice.
Of course, I'm changing because we're in Dice here tonight, so
Yeah.
I'm going to
We'll do that.
just across that cotton field here in Dice, Arkansas, which that's where we're at. Just across the cotton field is where John was raised. So
And the 5 feet high and rising, you know,
Same
about
thing.
what happened right here in Dice back in the 30s, the flood over the levees. And he, I'd say you could probably pick maybe, I don't know, no telling how many, 50 or more songs that John Cash wrote that was a story great enough to make a movie out of just that one song.
absolutely.
And that's where, I don't know, it's amazing how he could put words together.
You remember the song that he did, Cisco Clifton's filling
yeah,
station?
yeah.
Well, see, there's truth to that because just down the road and around the corner is the remnants of Mr. Frank Huff. He had a service station down there when John was just a young boy running around there. And he wrote Cisco Clifton's filling station. It was an imaginary name, Cisco Clifton, but it was Frank Huff's service station. And as I say, so creative, so creative.
Frank and me is going over before long to Sun Studios in Memphis and record a CD of John Cash songs and maybe one or two that Frank wrote, and at the same spot that John stood and did a lot of his first material. That's going to be an honor. We think maybe the name of the CD will be One More Time, or we've got a new song that a friend wrote that we're gonna try to learn and do it. So we're just gonna keep going like you said, for another 40 years. Have you been in the business 40 years?
45.
45. Okay, this is my 54th year. So another 50 years.
We'll both retire.
We'll be back doing another interview with you. Was that okay with you? You ready to come back 50 years to do another interview?
Make sure you
We're
charge
gonna
your
tell
battery.
about all these things. This song is about